ever feel like you're running on a hamster wheel?
Yeah.
You know, just trying to keep up with your to-do list.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
It's this universal struggle, I think, that has us all searching for that productivity magic bullet.
Yeah, absolutely. And while there are no quick fixes, right, there are strategies that go beyond just checking off boxes. And today's deep dive is all about rewiring our approach to productivity. And it starts with, well, maybe a radical idea for some, the 5 a.m. club.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. 5 a.m. Are we serious? But before you hit that snooze button, we're diving into a fascinating blog post from Hettl Consult.
Okay.
They're a management consulting firm. And the post really breaks down not just the how, but the WHY, this concept of the 5 a.m. club, has resonated with high achievers for centuries.
Interesting.
We're talking Goethe, Hemingway, even Elon Musk, big names.
Wow. Yeah, what's fascinating to me right off the bat is the diversity of these 5 a.m. enthusiasts, right? It crosses professions, personalities. It hints at something more universal at play, don't you think?
Totally. And that's where Matthias Hettl, he's the author of this piece, he really caught our attention. He kicks off with this powerful metaphor, calling that first hour of the day the rudder of the day.
I love that. It's such an evocative image, isn't it?
It really is.
The rudder, think about it. It's a small but mighty tool that steers this entire ship, right? Hettl's point is that how you spend that first hour has this ripple effect. It sets the tone, the direction for everything that follows.
So it's not just about squeezing in an extra hour.
Right.
It's about strategic intention. It's like we've all felt that midday slump where willpower fades, and suddenly that to-do list feels insurmountable.
Oh, tell me about it. Happens all the time. Yeah, and what if, instead of battling that dwindling willpower, we could tap into it at its peak? That's the genius of the 5 a.m. club. You're essentially outsmarting your own brain's rhythm, right? By capitalizing on those early hours when you're naturally at your sharpest.
And this isn't some motivational mumbo-jumbo. Hettl backs this up with the concept of primetime productivity. He highlights that 6 to 9 a.m. window as a period when most people are naturally primed for deep work. Distractions are minimal, your mind is clear after sleep, and you can achieve a level of focus that's nearly impossible later in the day. So we're not just trying to become morning people, right? It's about aligning ourselves with our brain's natural rhythms to maximize our output. But okay, let's address the elephant in the room. How do we actually make this 5 a.m. thing stick? Asking for a friend who may or may not have hit the snooze button one too many times this morning.
Haha, I hear you. Old habits die hard.
Okay.
But Hettl actually offers a very tangible framework for making this change. He talks about the 66-day rule. You're familiar with this. The idea that it takes a little over 2 months to truly ingrain a new habit.
66 days? It's not about forcing yourself into some temporary routine.
Sure.
Right. It's about literally rewiring those neural pathways.
Yeah.
Like learning a new language or an instrument consistency is key.
Totally. And Hettl is adamant about this. He even throws in a resounding nie ein when it comes to inconsistent wake-up times, weekends included. I mean,
Wow.
it really highlights how crucial that daily repetition is for solidifying this new pattern in our brains.
So we're retraining our brains.
Yeah.
Okay? But what about actually structuring those early morning hours?
Uh-huh.
Hettl dives into this with Robin Sharma's 20-20-20 rule. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
It's this structured morning ritual designed to optimize those precious early hours.
This is where it gets really interesting, right?
Yeah.
He breaks down the first 20 minutes as dedicated to fitness. And before you recoil in horror thinking about burpees at the break of dawn, Hettl assures us that even light exercise is incredibly impactful.
He talks about how it releases those feel-good neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin. He even compares it, and I love this analogy, to your Kripper Eigenen Red Bull, your body's own energy drink.
It's so true. Even a quick walk around the block, some light stretching, or a yoga flow can make a world of difference. I find that just getting my body moving early sets this positive and energized tone for the rest of the day.
Totally. Then we move into the next 20 minutes dedicated to planning. And this isn't just about jotting down appointments, it's about strategic decision-making. We're talking prioritizing tasks, setting realistic goals, essentially mapping out your day while your mind is at peak clarity.
It makes sense, right? Because he links this to the concept of decision fatigue, something I think we can all relate to.
Oh, 100%.
As the day progresses, our mental bandwidth for making those clear, effective decisions, it just starts to dwindle, right? So by front-loading those decisions in the morning, we free up that mental energy for more creative and strategic thinking later on.
That's so smart. Okay, so we've fueled our bodies, we've mapped out our day, and now we enter the final 20 minutes of this 20-20-20 rule. This is dedicated to learning. This is where things get really exciting for a podcast enthusiast like myself.
Absolutely, but it goes beyond just listening to podcasts. Think reading, taking an online course, or even just spending some dedicated time reflecting on new information. Hettl really emphasizes continuous learning as this key to adaptability and growth, especially in our ever-evolving world. He even quotes the saying, "The world belongs to learners."
Ooh, I love that. It speaks to this idea that dedicating even a small amount of time each day to expanding our knowledge base can have this compound effect over time. It's an investment in ourselves and our future. But within this learning block, Hettl also stresses the power of physically writing things down. He specifically suggests writing 5 a.m. club in your planner every day, along with a breakdown of your 2020 activities.
It's so simple, right? But there's something about that physical act of writing that solidifies the commitment, like signing a contract with yourself.
It's like that moment when you sign up for a race or book a flight, it makes it real,
Yeah.
And speaking of real, there's one crucial aspect of this 5 a.m. club that we can't just gloss over.
Right.
He wouldn't want us to get so caught up in these early mornings that we neglect another fundamental pillar of well-being, sleep.
Oh, for sure, for sure. He really emphasizes that joining the 5 a.m. club isn't about sacrificing sleep quality at all. In fact, he argues that a consistent sleep schedule is even more crucial when you're waking up earlier.
Yeah, it's like that saying, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't expect to function at your best with this sleep deficit.
Absolutely. I think he even suggests, exploring some natural sleep aids if this is an area where you struggle.
Yeah.
Things like chamomile tea or lavender essential oil, that's always nice.
Oh, yeah.
Even just ensuring your bedroom is cool, dark, quiet, it can make a world of difference.
Huge, huge.
But we'll save that deep dive on sleep hygiene for another episode, maybe.
Definitely. But it's a great reminder that self-care isn't one size fits all, right? And that finding what works for your sleep routine is key to making this whole 5 a.m. thing sustainable. So we've covered the why, the how, all of that. But what about the so what? What I really appreciated is that Hettl leaves us with a final thought that I found both challenging and incredibly motivating.
Yeah.
He calls it the 5% challenge. You've heard of this?
Yeah, this really resonated with me too. He posits this idea that to achieve, the extraordinary results in life,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to do what only a small percentage of people are willing to do.
It's so true.
He even quotes this line, "To get the results that 5% of the population has, you have to have the courage to do what only 5% of the population does."
Ooh, chills. Makes you realize that greatness often lies just beyond our comfort zones. And while the 5 a.m. club might seem like a small shift in our daily routine, Hittl's point is that those small shifts, when done consistently, can create these seismic shifts in our lives.
I love that. It really is about challenging those limiting beliefs we might have about what we're truly capable of, right? So as you're reflecting on everything we talked about today, ask yourself, what potential might you unlock by embracing this 5 a.m. challenge? It's not just about conquering the morning. It's about conquering your day and ultimately designing a life that truly aligns with your goals, your aspirations, everything you want to achieve.
I love that. This was fantastic. Such a good discussion.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Until next time.